Good afternoon. Today I'm going to be reviewing the San Martin SN0144-CG Jian Zhan. This watch is available from skbwatches.com for €332. You can use the discount code WR4K15 to get €15 discount off any watch over €100 on skbwatches.com. So, for example, with this piece, if you use the WR4K15 discount code, it will reduce the price from €332 to €317 respectively. The benefit of purchasing the watch from skbwatches.com is if you are an EU buyer, the watches are shipped from within the EU and therefore there is no customs import tax to pay. So firstly, let's look at the watch case that the watch comes in, and then I'll talk you through the specifications of the piece. So the watch comes in a green watch case, which is housed inside this outer white cardboard box. So I'll take it out and show it to you. So, San Martin branded green watch case. We have the San Martin hex emblem embossed on the lid, which is very aesthetically pleasing. It's made from vinyl or PU leather with a grained finish. Interior is fully upholstered with green velour fabric to a good standard, and the watch sits in the base on this padded pillow cushion, which is also fully upholstered with green velour fabric to a good standard. It's got a zip securing the lid, and it's very aesthetically pleasing. I want to give due credit to San Martin here because this is a low tier piece. To clarify, low tier is €0 to €500 price point. They could have taken the less expensive default option of a plastic or cardboard watch box, but this hard shell travel case is aesthetically pleasing. It's good quality, and I like the green grained finish to the vinyl or PU leather. With regards to the items that come with the piece, this is the owner's instruction manual. Clear, concise diagrams. The instructions are in English, and they detail the operation of the movement use, which is the Miyota Caliber 90S5 automatic. This is the plastic warranty card. On the front, we have the San Martin hex emblem, and on the reverse, it details the terms and conditions of the 2-year international warranty. It's stamped by San Martin Watch Company, date of purchase is filled in, and also the reference number SN0144-CG Jian Zhan. So, good to see 2 years of international warranty. Often low-tier Chinese brands only cover their watches with a 12-month international warranty. To get 2 years of international warranty is excellent, and San Martin deserve full credit for that. One also gets this plastic tag with the San Martin hex emblem and San Martin text logo on both sides, on the front and the reverse. And one also gets this 1.2mm stainless steel flathead screwdriver for resizing the screw pin links in the Jubilee style bracelet. This is excellent quality nailed shank, nice large chamfer which deletes the sharp end to it, and it's solid 316L grade stainless steel rather than being made from mild steel, which is nickel plated to give the appearance of stainless steel. And this is precision ground. The tip of it is very fine, 1.2mm, the correct size for the 1.2mm flathead screw heads in the Jubilee style bracelet. One also gets this solid 316L grade stainless steel spring bar tool, push pin at one end and a fine 2-prong fork at the other end, which is precision ground. Solid 316L grade stainless steel, nailed shank to it, nice large chamfers which delete the sharp edges to the knurling. Good quality. Now I'm pleased to see that again this is not made from mild steel, which is nickel plated to give the appearance of 316L grade stainless steel. It is actually solid stainless steel, so therefore it's not going to corrode as per mild steel, which is plated. Excellent quality. Good to get that included if you want to exchange the Jubilee style bracelet for an alternative strap. So this piece is the SN0144-CG Jian Zhan. Jian Zhan is inspired by Jian Zhan porcelain. So Jian Zhan is one of 8 famous porcelains of the Song dynasty. San Martin call this dial, the sunray dial, rabbit's hair because it resembles rabbit hair with its sunray finish, and it's available in the following 4 colour options: sunray blue, sunray green blue, sunray grey and sunray brown respectively. Of the 4 colour options, I think this sunray green blue version is the best looking. So with regards to the specifications of the piece, we have a 39mm case diameter. We have a lug-to-lug measurement of 46.2mm, a thickness of 10.1mm and a lug width of 20mm. The Jubilee style bracelet tapers from 20mm at the lugs down to 16mm at the 2-button push micro adjustment clasp. So we have the perfection personified 20 to 16 taper, which I often refer to. It is the industry standard for good reason, and for a 39mm head of the piece it is the perfect taper, 20 to 16. 2-button push micro adjustment clasp has an internal spring-loaded ratcheting mechanism which provides 10mm of on-the-fly adjustment. Longitudinal brushed satin finishing has a beautiful luster, and it has an applied San Martin hex emblem which is mirror polished with a matte bead blasted background, correctly proportioned. No sharp edges to the top edge or the low edge. 4 corners are deburred and chamfered very well, so no sharp corners. And brushed satin finishing to the flanks, and we have large mirror polished bevels which mark the transition between the body and also the flanks. 2-button push triggers are brushed satin finished to a good standard. They also have bevels which delete the sharp edges, so correctly proportioned. Good to see 10mm of on-the-fly adjustment, and it's correctly proportioned and well finished. We have a flat sapphire crystal with AR coating on the underside, and the anti-reflective coating does an outstanding job of reducing the glare and the highly reflective nature of the Mandarin applied numerals, and also the Mandarin Alpha handset, which is in gilt. So the gilt handset is mirror polished to perfection, as are the Mandarin characters for the numerals, and they've done a very good job. Proportions are good, legibility is good, symmetry of the dial is excellent because it's a symmetrical dial versus an asymmetrical dial with the absence of a date complication. Just the right amount of information because we've got the San Martin text logo in gilt, and also automatic at 6 o'clock. So for example, we don't have any negligible information such as the water resistance rating, and for a daily wear piece this is excellent. I like that they haven't over branded the dial. Clarity is good, symmetry is good, and they refer to this as the rabbit's hair dial because of the sunray pattern to it. And of the 4 colour versions that I've detailed, this green-blue version is my favourite. It's absolutely mesmerising the way the rabbit hair dial catches the light, refracts it and reflects it, as you can see. It changes from green to blue, and the sunray pattern of it is just fantastic. Around the circumference of the dial we have a gilt rail track chaptering which is printed with high definition printing in gilt, and the gilt rail track chaptering complements the gilt Mandarin applied numerals as an alternative to indices, and also the gilt handset which is an alpha handset. Fantastic mirror polishing to the alpha hands, fantastic printing. The gilt printing of San Martin text and automatic is high definition and crisp, it's sharp, the font isn't too thick and blurry, legibility is fantastic. This dial execution is peak San Martin, make no mistake about it. This is one of the best dials and handsets San Martin have ever produced since their foundation in 2012. So with regards to the rest of the specification, the bezel is solid 316L grade stainless steel. Now this is interesting because rather than being a domed bezel or alternatively flat profile bezel, it's actually concave. This is unusual. One doesn't often see a concave stainless steel bezel in the low tier between €0 and €500. It's concentric CNC lathe tool machined, and then the edge of it has a large mirror polished chamfer, and the chamfer deletes the sharp edge of the concave profile to the bezel. The bezel is low profile, so it allows the flat sapphire crystal to project above it, and the edge of the sapphire crystal has an aesthetically pleasing bevel on the edge of it which catches the light. This concave bezel is very aesthetically pleasing. I really like that it's not a domed bezel and it's not a flat profile. It makes a refreshing change to see a concave bezel used. Mirror polishing to the chamfer on it is excellent, and it complements the longitudinal bevel which runs the full length of the case. The bevel marks the transition between the top of the curved lugs, which are longitudinally brushed satin finished, and the longitudinally brushed satin finished flanks. Nice large undercut to the flanks which deletes the sharp edge, and again what we're looking at here is peak San Martin. Often San Martin pieces are known for having a crisp or sharp edge to the undercuts to the flanks. It's an area which also includes the bracelet flanks. They often have sharp edges to the top edge and the low edge of the flanks. This is peak San Martin. This SN0144-CG Jian Zhan is fantastic because they've machined a deeper bevel on the undercuts of the flank, and then they've mirror polished it, and this deletes the sharp edge, the crisp edge that San Martin cases are known for. This enhances the comfort level and the feel good factor both on the left and the right hand flank. So they've done a very good job of the case finishing. It really is stellar, looks good and also feels good. With regards to the bracelet, it's a Jubilee style bracelet, but it's slightly different in profiling because the centre links aren't mirror polished. They've beveled the edges to the centre 3 links, but rather than mirror polishing them, which is the convention for Jubilee style bracelets, they have brushed satin finished the centre links to match the brushed satin finish outer links. Again, this is peak San Martin because San Martin Jubilee style and Oyster style bracelets are known for having sharp edges on the top edge and the lower edge of the bracelet, and of course this can be sharp, it can scratch the wrist, which diminishes the comfort level and feel good factor. This Jubilee style bracelet is better because they've machined a larger bevel on the top edge and the lower edge of the flanks of the outer links. This deletes the sharp crisp edge on the underside to the flanks, and this enhances comfort level and feel good factor. Visually it looks aesthetically pleasing with the large mirror polish bevels, but also it serves a meaningful purpose because it deletes the sharp edges which I've detailed. Let's check the bracelet articulation. So, bracelet articulates freely, doesn't feel stiff or kink, rather like female Poutilene links. Doesn't have excess longitudinal, lateral, side-to-side or up and down play. This is excellent. Interference, friction, fit, they've got the balance correct. It's not too tight, doesn't feel stiff or kink, but doesn't rattle. It's not sloppy, nice and tight. The bracelet itself articulates freely, flows nicely, doesn't feel stiff or kink, but it's not sloppy. This is not a loose bracelet. It's nice and tight. Again, friction, interference, fit, and the 1.2mm screw pins are nice and tight without being too tight. Let's check the other side for continuity. Again, end link articulates freely, doesn't feel stiff or kink, doesn't have excess longitudinal, lateral, side or up and down play. Outstanding. This is one of the best end links and bracelets San Martin have ever produced since 2012. Stellar. And again, doesn't pull arm hairs, that's the benefit, and no sharp edge to the top edge or the lower edge of the flanks. Brushed satin finishing to the outer links and the 3 centre links has a beautiful lustre to it, and I'm pleased to see 1.2mm screw pins used versus the production cost-cutting measure of pins and collars or split pins, so no cost-cutting measures whatsoever. Let's look at the clasp in detail. 2-button push micro adjustment clasp. Opens freely, solid Mill 316L grade stainless steel internals as one would expect, beautiful lustre to the brushed satin finishing to the top side, underside and flanks, no sharp corners to the centre section, no sharp edges to the top edge and the lower edge of the flanks. Let's check the hinge pins. Left hand hinge pin articulates freely, doesn't feel stiff or kink, doesn't have excess play. Centre hinge pin articulates freely, doesn't feel stiff or kink, doesn't have excess play. Finally, right hand hinge pin, which is a spring bar, doesn't have excess play. Doesn't feel stiff or kink. Excellent. This is an example to other low-tier Chinese brands of how to get build quality, quality control, materials and finishing correct with a micro adjustment clasp. Left-hand hinge pin, centre hinge pin, right-hand hinge pin feel nice and tight. Perfect balance between interference friction fit and also being loose so that they don't feel stiff or kink. It's outstanding. Now, this is an updated micro adjustment clasp, as you can see. It's got milled grooves and then it has a minus and plus symbol. Now this is different because often San Martin micro adjustment clasp, they have a spring-loaded trigger which you depress with your index finger or thumbnail. This is different because you don't engage your index finger or thumbnail in the slot with a spring-loaded trigger. You actually press this into the body. So this is an updated micro adjustment clasp. It's the first time I've seen them use this with the minus and plus symbol on it engraved. It's now fully deployed, so I'm going to click it back in and deploy it a few times to check the ratcheting mechanism for play. Nice, loud, audible clicks. Feels heavily sprung-loaded. I like it. Sounds good, feels good. You press it in with your index finger or thumb, and it deploys smoothly. This is better. This is more refined than the other San Martin micro adjustment clasp they're using, which is excellent. But this is more refined. Nice, loud, audible clicks. Feels heavy. Feels solid, reliable and robust. 10mm of on-the-fly adjustment. As you can see, this is how it looks when it's on its minimum, and you can see the trigger, which is flush with the internals, has the plus or minus symbol and also the grooves milled, so it's grippy and tactile. You can press it in with your index finger or thumb. Just bear with me, I'll get the camera to focus on it. Deploys smoothly, and when you click it back in, nice, heavy, loud, audible clicks. 10mm, so when it's on its minimum, feels good. Doesn't rattle, doesn't have excess play. I'm just going to check it when it's on its maximum, when it's deployed 10mm. Again, correct dimensions. Doesn't feel loose, doesn't rattle. Excellent. This is very good. This is better than the other micro adjustment class they're using. This is refined. And I'm pleased to see they've updated it, as you can see. This is a better design. It's perfectly flush. Now, the thing I like about it is, just look at the side profile. Look how thin it is. This is 5mm. And when it's closed, it's also very low profile. So this is particularly beneficial if you have a smaller wrist of 6 to 7 inches. Often micro adjustment clasp, they're too bulky, they're too thick, they're too wide, and they're too long. And the problem is if you have a smaller wrist of 6 to 7 inches, the length of the clasp feels too bulky, there's overhang. This is actually lower profile. This is a slimmed down version of their micro adjustment clasp. It's more like the proportions of a Rolex glide lock clasp. It's better. Lower profile, thinner, proportions are good, and I really like it. So I like the recessed trigger. As you can see, it's flush. This is a better micro adjustment clasp, and I like the action of it, the execution. It's solid, loud, audible clicks. Sounds good, feels good, doesn't have excess play, doesn't rattle, it's not sloppy, and deploys smoothly. Very nice resistance to it. This is excellent. This is a stellar micro adjustment clasp. Now, as I've detailed, this piece is called Jian Zhan because it is inspired by Jian Zhan porcelain, and the 4 colours, Sunray Blue, Sunray Green Blue, Sunray Grey and Sunray Brown, are all inspired by Jian Zhan porcelain. And as I've detailed, Jian Zhan is one of 8 famous porcelains of the Song dynasty. What you're looking at here on the forged case back, which is hydraulically pressed versus being engraved, the embossed seal is the Jian Zhan seal, and this is the same as the Jian Zhan seal on the porcelain of the Song dynasty. And as you can see, it has a matte bee-blasted background, but the embossed seal, the Jian Zhan seal, is mirror polished, and it's very aesthetically pleasing. Nice to have that continuity of design. Right, so let's test the screw-down crown execution. The screw-down crown provides an effective hermetic seal to 100 metres, which is strong specification, partially recessed into the right-hand flank, which is good. It's large enough to get good purchase on with your index finger and thumb, but it doesn't project too far from the right-hand flank, so therefore when you flex the wrist, the benefit of it being not too large, not too proud, is that the crown doesn't dig into the back of the hand, so they've got it right. Large enough to be grippy and tactile, not too large so it digs into the back of the hand when you flex the wrist. So let's test the screw down crown execution. Silky smooth. This is sublime screw down crown execution. What we're looking at here is peak San Martin. This is one of the smoothest screw down crowns San Martin have produced since their foundation in 2012. This is stellar. To put this into perspective, it is as smooth as the triplock crown used on my Rolex Starbucks. That is the level of refinement we're looking at. Perfect interface between the internal thread of the stainless steel crown and the external thread of the stainless steel crown tube. This is as smooth as a Rolex, Tudor or Omega screw down crown. That's the level of refinement we're talking about. Silky smooth. Minimal number of turns required to fully unscrew it. So when it's fully unscrewed, we're now in the manual wind position, and one can manually wind the Miyota Caliber 90S5 automatic to its maximum 42-hour power reserve. So to clarify, when the mainspring is fully unwound and fully exhausted and the movement stops dead, 40 clockwise turns of the crown is enough to fully wind the Miyota 90S5 automatic to its maximum 42-hour power reserve. So 40 clockwise turns. Pulling it out to the first click position is the final click, because the 90S5 does not have a date complication as per the 9015. Although it does have a similar architecture, Miyota deletes the date complication of the 9015, and the 90S5 is very similar to the 9039. It's a no-date version of the 9000 premium series of calibers. So, no date complication means they slim down the caliber. It's lower profile, also has a low hand stack height on the cannon pinion, and that's beneficial because this piece is only 10.1mm as a result. But other benefit is there is no phantom date setting position. Had they used the 9015, there would be a phantom date setting position. So we're now in the time setting position. If you look at the gilt second hand, you can see it's now stopped dead. So therefore, with the Caliber 90S5 automatic, it's possible to set the time precisely to the second. Feels very smooth. In terms of how it feels, doesn't feel rough or gritty, doesn't feel stiff. Feels very similar to the 9015, which has the similar architecture. Also the 9039, which has similar architecture. Feels nice and smooth. It's a 9000 premium series of caliber, so to put this into perspective, it's equal quality to a Solites W200-1 standard grade, a Soprod P024, or an ETA 2824-2. That's the grade we're looking at, that's the quality level. Feels exactly the same in terms of smoothness of the gearing. Pushing it back in, it's got a nice positive click, and that restarts the movement. You can see the gilt second hand begins to sweep around the dial at the characteristic smooth 4Hz sweep. This is something I like about the 90S5. It runs at 28,800 vibrations per hour, so it has a smoother sweep than, for example, the Seiko NH35A and NH38, which run at 3Hz. Their second hands stutter or judder because they run at 21,600 vibrations per hour. So the 4Hz sweep is more aesthetically pleasing. It doesn't stutter as per a 3Hz sweep. It's got that nice smooth 4Hz sweep. Let's test screwing the crown back down. Instant thread pickup. There's a perfect interface between the internal thread of the stainless steel crown and the external thread of the stainless steel crown tube. Stellar. One of the best screw down crowns San Martin have ever produced. Coin edge crown has a large chamfer which deletes the sharp tips to the coin edge teeth, and it's embossed with a San Martin hex emblem. Matte be blasted background to it, and the San Martin hex emblem is mirror polished to perfection. Proportions are good, nice fine coin edge teeth to it, so excellent. I really like it. Right, so I'll give you a wrist shot and you can see how it fits on my 8-inch wrist. Now, I haven't sized the bracelet, and it's fully deployed on its maximum 10mm extension on the micro adjustment clasp. And I'm pleased to report I can easily slide an index finger beneath a bracelet and micro adjustment clasp at all times. This indicates the Jubilee style bracelet will fit up to a maximum 8.5-inch wrist size. So to clarify, there are enough removable links on the 6 o'clock and the 12 o'clock side of the Jubilee style bracelet to size this down to a minimum 6-inch wrist size up to a maximum 8.5. Even on my large 8-inch wrist, I can easily slide an index finger beneath it. Now this is with it on its maximum extension, 10mm of on-the-fly adjustment on the micro adjustment clasp. Now you can see the benefit of them slimming down the profile of the micro adjustment clasp. It's only 5mm. It's thinner. This is very low profile. It's less bulky. It's not as thick and it's not as wide, doesn't have as much overhang. As I've detailed, this is particularly beneficial if you have a smaller 6 to 7-inch wrist, because you're not going to get the overhang of a bulky micro adjustment clasp. Its curvature is good for all wrist sizes. Curvature is good for 6 to 7. Curvature is also good to 7 to 8 inches. Fantastic profiling. Very similar to a Rolex Glide Lock. This is refined. What we're looking at here is peak San Martin. The updated micro adjustment clasp is better than their other micro adjustment clasp. This is the very best of San Martin. Looks good, feels good, beautiful luster. So, perfection personified taper, 20 to 16, stellar, cannot be improved upon. Also, interesting choice, because Jubilee style bracelets usually have mirror polished centre links, as per Jubilee bracelets and as per Beads of Rice bracelets. Interesting choice, they've brushed satin finished the centre links versus mirror polishing. I like it, I think it's the correct choice. What I like about this piece, the head of the piece, the dial, the bracelets are original. This is not an homage to a Rolex, Tudor or Omega piece. It's an original design, the Jian Zhan. And the rabbit hair dial is very aesthetically pleasing. I like that it has Mandarin numerals versus using indices or Arabic numerals or Roman numerals. And the alpha handset, which is gilt, is also unique. It's an original design. Even the bezel is concave versus being the standard domed bezel or flat bezel. So this is an original design. What I respect about San Martin is from their foundation in 2012, when they were making Rolex, Tudor and Omega pieces, such as one of their early pieces, the SN0144-CG, which was a Rolex Submariner homage, they are gradually moving away from making homage pieces to making original designs. Now, this is good. It's an original design with a rabbit hair dial, but also the Jian Zhan is very aesthetically pleasing because the case profile at 39mm feels very well balanced by the Jubilee style bracelet. 20 to 16 is perfection personified, low profile clasp, and I like that it doesn't feel top heavy. So this will fit you if you have a 6 to 7-inch wrist, and it will also fit you if you have a 7 to 8-inch wrist. It does have enough wrist presence at 39. It really is the perfect daily wear piece. And I really like the luster of the Jubilee style bracelet. Without mirror polished centre links, it actually gives the piece more of a tool watch aesthetic rather than a dress watch aesthetic as per a Jubilee bracelet fitted to a date just, for example. Very aesthetically pleasing. Now, as I've detailed, there are 4 dial colour options, the rabbit hair dials: Sunray Blue, Sunray Green Blue, Sunray Grey and Sunray Brown. This Sunray Green Blue dial is definitely the best. It's absolutely mesmerising the way the Sunray dial changes colour from blue to green. It's just fantastic. The rabbit hair dial is just mesmerising. It's one of the greatest San Martin dials ever made. Looks good, very aesthetically pleasing. Legibility is good. Proportions of the Mandarin characters or numerals are excellent. And I really like the symmetry of the dial. The lack of the date complication at 6 or 3, the default positions. We've got a perfectly symmetrical dial. The gilt alpha hands are also large enough to be clearly legible, and one can differentiate between the longer alpha minute hand and the shorter gilt hour hand. So legibility is good. This is a perfect daily wear piece. Now, above all else, there are 2 things I really like. Lack of heft is the first one. This is 134 grams, which is a pleasant surprise for a 39mm on a Jubilee style bracelet with a micro adjustment clasp. So I would expect this to be circa 150 grams. And bear in mind, it does have a long bracelet. I could easily slide an index finger. This will fit up to an 8.5-inch wrist. 134 grams is very well balanced. It doesn't feel like a thick slab of 316L grade stainless steel. The head of the piece is perfectly balanced by the Perfection personified taper and the low profile micro adjustment clasp. It just feels right. Comfort level and feel good factor are fantastic. The other thing I like about it is how low profile it is. 10.1mm. Now, needless to say, you'll know this from my previous reviews. 13mm and below is the sweet spot for a daily wear piece to easily slip underneath a shirt cuff if you wear business shirts. So at 10.1, it's well below the 13mm sweet spot. Very low profile. They deserve credit here because many low-tier Chinese brands, they use box top hats, double dome sapphire crystals, or alternatively double dome sapphire crystals. That adds 2mm of thickness to the head of the piece. This has a flat sapphire crystal. This is good because it benefits the low profile of the head of the piece and the flat case back. 10.1 is fantastic. Had they used a box top hat crystal, that would have added 2mm of thickness. This would be 12.1. 10.1 is very thin for an automatic. Now, if this were quartz powered or a mechanical manual wind piece, I would say 10.1 is nothing special. It's not impressive. But for an automatic with a rotor, 10.1 is very impressive. Just look how snug it is to the wrist. Case back is nice and flat. It's not a bubble back case back. Now, San Martin deserve credit here because had they used a less expensive caliber such as the Seiko NH38, this piece would be 13mm thick. Because the NH38 is a thicker caliber and it also has a taller hand stack height on the cannon pinion, therefore it needs a deeper rehort and additional clearance between the underside of the sapphire crystal and the top of the cannon pinion. Also needs a bubble back case back to provide additional clearance for the rotor. The NH38 is significantly thicker than the Miyota 90S5 used in this piece. They've made the correct decision by not using the less expensive alternative, the NH38. This would make it 13. This is only 10.1. They have fully benefited, fully utilised the fact the 90S5 is low profile. It's thin. 10.1 is fantastic. You don't get this large gap beneath the tips of the lugs. And the end of the end links in the Jubilee style bracelet, they pivot rather like female pivotal end links. And the benefit is the end link in the bracelet pulls snug to the wrist. Articulates very well. So you don't get this large gap beneath the end link in the bracelet and the tip of the lugs. They curve around the wrist very well. It's just fantastic. Comfort level and feel good factor are stellar with this piece. It really is the perfect daily wear piece. Looks good, feels balanced. Absolutely outstanding. So, just bear with me and we'll continue with a Lume test. So, I like the way it feels. I like the way it looks. The rabbit hair dial is mesmerising. The green-blue version is the best. So, this uses BGW X1. So, to clarify, BGW X1 is a mixture of BGW9, which you're all familiar with, in blue, and X1, which is white. It adds potency to the exciter and increases the longevity, how long it glows. So it gives better performance. X1 has a more potent exciter than BGW9. It gives it added potency, added brightness. So, as always, I'm going to use my 100 UV LED torch to charge it up to the absolute peak. Right, so that's now fully charged, and as you can see, it has not disappointed. We're clearly looking at 5 to 6 layers on the Mandarin characters on the dial, which are applied as opposed to indices or Arabic numerals or Roman numerals. The alpha handset is also correctly proportioned. One can immediately differentiate between the shorter alpha hour hand and the longer alpha minute hand. The gilt tone is excellent on the Mandarin characters on the dial and also the alpha hands. In daylight, the Lume is the same colour. It's white on the Mandarin characters and white on the alpha handset. So perfect colour tone match in daylight, perfect colour tone match in the dark. You can see we're clearly looking at a full 5 to 6 on the dial and a full 5 to 6 on the alpha hands. Stellar performance. I'm pleased to see they haven't cut any corners in order to reduce production costs per piece and maximise profit margin per piece. This is stellar. They could not improve upon it. Legibility is good. Symmetry of the dial is good with the absence of a date complication at the default positions of 6 and 3. And I like the fact it's a symmetrical dial versus an asymmetrical dial with a date window. This is fantastic. Legibility is good. I'm just going to charge it up once again and get the camera to autofocus on it. So as you can see, BGW X1 does look visually similar to BGW 9, but there is a notable difference. The X1 makes it whiter than the blue tone of BGW9. So if you look closely again, this is a slightly whiter tone to it. The X1 adds potency, but it also makes it whiter. It makes it a lighter blue. BGW9 is slightly darker blue. In terms of potency, the X1 does add some potency. Initially, it makes the exciter whiter, it glows brighter, and also extends the longevity of it, how long it glows for. So it makes BGW9 more potent. It makes it glow brighter initially, and it makes it glow for a longer period of time. It's the perfect balance. X1 is white, BGW9 is blue, but mixing the two you get a light blue. It really does remind me of Rolex Chromolite in terms of its tone, slightly lighter than BGW9. Very aesthetically pleasing, but performance is stellar. This cannot be improved upon. It's fantastic. Right, so let's discuss the movement use because it's my favourite aspect of the piece. So this is powered by the Miyota Caliber 90S5 automatic. So to remind you, it's made in Japan, and the architecture of the 90S5 is based upon the 9015, which is the date version. The 9039 also has a similar architecture. It's the no-date version of the 9015. Now, the main difference in the architecture is the 90S5 has a decorated plate on the front of it. Now, you can't see it because it's beneath the dial. Often it's used with open heart watches or dials with skeletonized dials because it displays the plate on the front of it, which is decorated with pelage finishing. The plate is in gilt, and then Miyota mill it with pelage finishing. And the idea is if you have an open heart dial or you have a skeletonized dial, you get to see the plate, which is gilt with pelage. So it's a decorated version, effectively, of the 9015 or the 9039, and they call it the 90S5. The architecture is very similar because it has 24 joules. It runs at 28,800 vibrations per hour and a frequency of 4 Hz. Has hand winding and hacking, no date complication, and as I've detailed, the benefit of the lack of a date complication is it's thinner. Has a lower hand stack height on the cannon pinion as per the 9039. 42-hour power reserve, which is good. Stated accuracy is -10 to +30 seconds per day, so rather wide accuracy range. However, I'm pleased to report that San Martin are doing a good job of regulating the Caliber 90S5s they're using. This one is running consistently at +2 seconds per day when it's fully wound to its maximum 42-hour power reserve. +2 is actually within chronometer accuracy of -4 to +6. It's stellar. +2 is actually nothing unusual for a 9000 series such as the 90S5. They are very easy to regulate in 5 positions to chronometer accuracy. +2 is stellar, but it's nothing special for a 9000 series, but it's good nonetheless. So San Martin are regulating them in 5 positions to chronometer accuracy, and +2 is well within the stated accuracy of -10 to +30, which is a wide accuracy range. No negatives to the 90S5 whatsoever. It's reliable, well proven, workhorse caliber, made in Japan. In terms of quality, as I've detailed, I regard it as equal quality to a standard grade Sellita SW200-1, standard grade Soprod P024, or a standard grade ETA 2824-2. In terms of build quality, quality control, materials and finishing, it's equal. And it's also equal in quality to other 9000 premium calibers, such as the 9015 and 9039, which you'll know from my previous reviews are my personal favourite 9000 series calibers. So really it's equal quality to the aforementioned. The 90S5 is just a no-date version with a plate on the front of it, which is in gilt and pelage finished. It's decorated, but the actual build quality, materials and finishing are the same. They're equal to the 9015 and 9039, which share the same architecture. Hand winding and hacking works well, setting the time works well, manually winding it feels smooth, doesn't feel stiff, doesn't feel rough or gritty. It's fantastic. Correct choice. I want to give due credit to San Martin here because they could have used the less expensive default option of the Seiko NH38 as I've detailed, and that would make this piece 13mm plus. And of course this is only 10.1, that's the benefit. So lastly we'll look at the case back. Solid 316L grade stainless steel case back. Screw down case back provides an effective hermetic seal to 100 metres, which is strong specification. It's forged, so to remind you, forged means it's hydraulically pressed rather than engraving. Now the benefit of this being a forged case back, which is hydraulically pressed, versus an engraved case back is, when you have an embossed shield, or alternatively in this case a seal, if they engraved this, this would be sharp and it would feel rough and scratchy against the wrist, and that would diminish the comfort level and feel good factor when wearing this piece for long periods of time, such as 8 to 12 hours per day. Forged case backs are more expensive to produce with hydraulic pressing, but they are better because they are smooth. Although it has a deep embossing, which is very aesthetically pleasing with the Jian Zhan seal, as per Jian Zhan porcelain, it doesn't feel rough, it doesn't feel sharp as per an engraved embossed case back. The circumference is mirror polished and it's engraved with high definition engraving with a reference number and specification to a good level. Mirror polishing is flawless, milled slots are deburred and chamfered, and the outer portion circumference is concentric CNC lathe tool machined with a beautiful lustre. What I like about it is how thin it is. This is not a deep bubble back screw down case back as per if it were powered by the NH35A or the NH38 respectively. This does not need additional clearance between the case back and the rotor, and this is the benefit of using a 9000 calibre such as the 90S5. It's thinner, the rotor is flatter, therefore it doesn't need additional clearance. It doesn't need a deep bubble back case back as per the NH35A and NH38. So this is the benefit of using a 9000 series such as the 90S5. Case back can be flat, doesn't need to be bubble back. This reduces the thickness down to only 10.1, but it is 100 metres. The end links are a good tight fit to the head of the piece. Now, they could further enhance this by using quick release stainless steel spring bars versus standard stainless steel spring bars, but the end links are a good tight fit. Underside head of the piece is concentric CNC lathe tool machine to a good standard. Nice large mirror polished bevels which delete the sharp edges to the undercuts to the flanks. This enhances comfort level. I want you to look at the bevels closely again. You can see the depth. On other San Martin cases, they do not have this large mirror polished bevel. And this is beneficial. This is peak San Martin. Often their cases have sharp edges, as I've detailed. This does not have a sharp edge. It has this large mirror polished bevel which is deep. And this deletes the sharp edge. This enhances comfort level and feel good factor. Stellar finishing to the case. This is one of the best finished cases San Martin have ever produced since their foundation in 2012. It is fantastic. It is peak San Martin. So this SN0144-CG Jian Zhan is peak San Martin, one of the greatest pieces they have produced. So last I'll summarise the piece. What do I think of it overall? Well, when I'm considering reviewing a watch on my channel, the watch meet two criteria. It should be both excellent quality and excellent value at the respective price point. So, low tier piece, price point is €317. Yes, this is unquestionably excellent quality, and yes, it is unquestionably excellent value at €317. The movement alone fully justifies the price point of the piece. We're not looking at an NH38 powered piece here. This is a Miyota 90S5 automatic powered piece, a premium 9000 calibre, the very best of Miyota, equal quality to an SW200-1. That fully justifies the €317 price point. The rabbit hair dial, and this Sunray green-blue version of it is the best of the four colour options. This is one of the best executed San Martin dials. It's mesmerising. The green-blue Sunray pattern to it is just beautiful. The way it refracts the light, the way it reflects it, and it contrasts with the gilt handset and the gilt Mandarin characters. It's one of the greatest San Martin dials they have ever produced. Stellar. Quality control, build quality, finishing materials are fantastic throughout. This piece does not have any negatives whatsoever. Finishing to the head of the piece is fantastic. Quality control, build quality, finishing to the bracelet is fantastic. Micro adjustment clasp is one of the greatest micro adjustment clasps they have ever made. This is updated. This is better. It's lower profile. The spring-loaded trigger is smoother. It's refined. If I had to choose one word to describe the micro adjustment clasp, it would be refinement. This is just one of the greatest San Martin pieces. So, needless to say, I'm going to declare it a champagne watch for lemonade money. I'm going to highly recommend it for your consideration. I hope you've enjoyed my review of the San Martin SN0144-CG Jian Zhan. Please feel free to post your own comments below the video. Thank you for watching.